Bruv, what the fuck happened with this stupid stream, bruv? Hello, you guys. Can you hear me? Hello, you guys. Is the stream working better now? Honestly, I don't know what's been happening. I don't know what's been happening. It's not making any sense. I'm looking at my internet speed and it's saying I've got 8 megabytes. And I'm paying for 80 megabytes. I don't know why I've got 8 megabytes. I don't know what's been happening with my internet. Oh my god, this is very annoying. You guys, is that better now? Is it better? Is it more stable? Yeah, I had to reduce the megabytes per second for the stream. So I mean, it's don't know what the hell was happening. I really don't. You guys, apologies for this. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with my internet speed so far, but I'm gonna be answering some previous questions. Javan, if you're here, let me know. Hopefully he is, because I need to answer his question. But yeah, hopefully it's working now. Okay, thank God, thank God. Okay, cool. You got getting back to things. Answering some Patreon questions. Yes, Zaki, you good, man. Where do I send my questions for the Q&A? Zaki, send your questions here. Yes, Josh Banks, how are you? Nini, thoughts on a safe standing being backed? Yeah, I think it would be good, to be honest. I mean, let's be serious. When it comes to the atmosphere in games these days, I think, other than like a small minority of clubs, the atmosphere is pretty bad. That's the honest truth. There isn't much of an atmosphere. I think that, you know, with how big of a business football's become, it's pandering towards the people that have money. And unfortunately, that means that a lot of the lower class people that are normally synonymous with atmosphere aren't able to go as frequently as they'd like to go. And I think that they're just, you know, this whole thing about trying to target like a different class, trying to target like the middle class, or trying to target people that have money, it backfires in a sense, because yeah, they might come to games, but they're not really fans, they're not really supporters. And I think that you get like a lot of these tourist fans that fill a lot of stadiums. I'm not saying that's bad, because people deserve to watch whatever they pay for, but obviously that's come at an expense of the atmosphere, because again, it's not as if you're a new person watching a game for the first time, you're not going to know the songs or anything like that. But at the same time, let's be serious, I think too, it's the older generation. You know, these guys who are like 60 years old now, 70 years old, 50, when they were 20, when they were 30 years old, yeah, they were more active. They were probably standing up, jumping around, etc., etc. But again, you know, when it comes to stadiums, it's mostly older people now. The stats prove it. The stats show that the average attendance at Chelsea is like 41 years old. So the stadium's full of older people and full of these tourist fans as well. And obviously that's going to come at an expense, because older people aren't going to be singing and shouting like they used to do when they were younger. So I think that obviously by having safe standing, it could be a good way, because number one, hopefully that means it's going to be cheaper to get into a stadium. That's going to encourage more younger people to actually go to games as well. And of course, then they'll be in that whole like, that they'll be embracing that atmosphere, because it's normally the younger people that start the singing, start this, start that. So I think having safe standing now is the best thing to do. And yeah, I'm all for it. I totally agree with it. Yes, Abdi, you good man. What do you think about Mason Mount's progress at Derby? Will you be at the game on Saturday? Keep up the good work. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I'm going to be at the game on Saturday. And with Mason Mount, it's no surprise that he's doing bits. Obviously, Lampard really did the most to try and bring him to Derby. And I think that obviously it's the right... I can't really say it's the right place. I would have preferred this guy to be in Germany, if I'm being serious. But I think that Mason Mount is playing in a system. He is playing as a midfield player. And I think that's what Chelsea were happy with, because they've always been trying to develop him to be more of a midfield player instead of being this guy that plays on the left. And I think that maybe throughout his career, he's going to benefit from that in the long term. And yeah, I mean, he's showing how decisive he is already. I mean, looking at his stats over the past 30 games he's played throughout his career, he scored like, what, 14 goals or something crazy like that. So, massive talent, massive player. And yeah, it's no surprise that he's doing really well. Other questions to ask. Yes, Wolf Rider, how are you? Will Hazard leave if we finish outside the top four? You know what? I probably think he might leave, to be honest. I think if we didn't make the top four, I think that he definitely feel like, okay, I've done as much as I can do I've done as much as I can do at Chelsea. It's time for me to move on and progress now. And I think, yeah, I don't even think Chelsea could do much to persuade him to stay at that point. But in my opinion, I don't think we're going to be be finishing outside the top four. I don't see that happening. Javan Jarrett, thank you for another super chat, man. Where would you put Messi in the team? Oh, that's a fun hypothetical question. You know what? I'd have to play Messi on the right-hand side. The reason why is because Sarri uses poachers up front. I keep saying it all the time. They only get maybe 20 to 25 touches a game. It's not about their build-up play. It's about the movement. And I think it would be a waste of Messi's game if you want him to touch the ball, you know, that small amount of time. I think that you'd have to play him on the right-hand side because he's more involved in the build-up. He can cut inside, link up with the midfield, you know, interchange positions, etc., etc. I think, yeah, if you were to sign Messi, you have to play him on the right-hand side. Other questions to answer. Okay. CFC Anuj, thank you, bro. New stadium, Dybala to Real Madrid. I don't know. I don't know about that. Is that a thing? Dybala to Real Madrid, is that a thing? I don't think so. They just signed Mariano. But again, if they were to sign, I don't know, it would be kind of crazy. I don't know. I mean, I know reports are coming out now. I'm just reading it right now. But again, it's Don Ballon, so you can't really take what Don Ballon says seriously. So I'm not going to get too excited about that if I'm a Madrid fan. But they just signed Mariano. I kind of think that's Madrid's business over now. I don't see Juventus selling Dybala right now. So yeah, if you're a Madrid fan or Madrid are your second team, I wouldn't bother if I'm being serious. Other questions, let me see in the chat. Shane, if Morata doesn't work out this season, who do you think Sarri will sign? Immobile or Timo Werner? Now, again, they were very intelligent choices you picked because Immobile and Werner are a similar type of striker that do play that poacher role. Immobile is really turned into a top-class striker now for Lazio. I mean, it's been ridiculous, but I mean, he'd be an interesting one to see. I definitely think he would be very clinical inside the box as well. Timo Werner, I have to be honest, I haven't seen him play as much, so I don't know his overall game. I've seen Immobile play a bit more, and I think he's at this stage now. I think he's like, what, 28 years old. He's definitely developed a lot since Borussia Dortmund, and he's one of the best strikers in Serie A, so he'd be an interesting signing to look at. It really would. Ali, Nini, do you see us offloading the crap currently in the squad before Friday? I don't think so. Maybe guys like Piazon and Hector might leave. But as I've kept telling you guys, expect more players to be leaving in the January window. We always sell in January. It always happens. There wasn't enough time to do our business and sell at the same time. So yeah, expect more players to leave later on. Yes, Lali, thank you, bro. Saw you in my dream last night. You sold me headphones. I probably sold you amazing headphones, so you're welcome. C19, Predator 1 and Predator, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that next month. City first, Liverpool second, Chelsea third, Tottenham fourth. Okay, thoughts? I think, when I'm looking at your prediction, I'd most likely think I could understand the City thing. When it comes down to Liverpool, I'm not too sure. I think that it is really hard to ascertain all those types of things just yet. I think we're going to take a lot of people by surprise. There's a reason why I keep saying we're title challengers, because with the players we have, the manager we have, we signed key upgrade position players for the team in Kovacic and Jorginho as well, who are really just taking our midfield game to another level. So I think we're definitely in it to win it this season. We definitely are. I think we've got a lot of factors working in our favour with Europa League football, our top players being rested, squad depth, squad rotation as well. And we play that style of football where we don't have to constantly exert tons and tons of energy because we're not running like madmen like we were under Conte. So again, I don't know. I see us anywhere between first and third place, but looking at you know, your fourth, fifth and sixth, it depends. I think with United, it depends how quickly Mourinho gets sacked, or if Mourinho wakes up one day and has an epiphany. Arsenal, I'm not too sure about them, to be honest. I don't think they've done enough, unless Emery decides to finally start using Aubameyang and Lacazette. Tottenham, I'm still not sure about Tottenham. Yeah, I know they beat United 3-0. That means nothing, in my opinion, because United are being that shit under Mourinho. Now, with Tottenham, I don't know. I kind of feel that as the season goes on, without having any... they didn't strengthen during the summer as well. I think that's going to come to cost them, so I'm not too sure about Tottenham. Chelsea fan, yep. Harry Lee, who do you want in our Europa League group? Honestly, I don't really care, to be honest. I think the level of player we have is much better than any club in the Europa League, so I wouldn't worry about that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I would like to go to a European away game. Maybe if it's somewhere in France, I wouldn't mind going to France. I haven't been to France for a while. Maybe Germany. I always like going to Germany. So if I get either a French or German team, I'm happy. Or who knows? I wouldn't even mind a Swedish team. I haven't been to Sweden before. I wouldn't mind going. So yeah, I'd take a team like that. Nini, predictions on top four, and we should have bought Mahrez. Yep, we should have bought Mahrez. And as I said, I think I just answered that question before. I think we're definitely going to be in the top four, and I think we're in it to win it this season. Nikoi James, Hudson-Odoi impresses during the pre-season, can't get on the field, and David Luiz looking like playing for Arsenal yeah, I know that's always the thing with Chelsea, and this is why Hudson-Odoi hasn't agreed to signing a new contract just yet. These guys aren't dumb anymore, these younger guys. This is why Panto left. This is why Bolka, the goalkeeper that was impressing everyone during pre-season, this is why he hasn't signed a new contract, and it's looking like he actually wants to leave. He only has 12 months left. I think that I honestly think that in a way there could be a benefit if Hudson-Odoi leaves, because that would mean that if one of the best youth players we've had in a while left the club, it would really force people at Chelsea to take the youth seriously, take the demands more serious, and actually try and find spaces for them to actually get into the first team, because otherwise it's going to keep happening. More and more of them will just sign for Chelsea to get a great football education, and then they'll leave, and Chelsea aren't benefiting then. Because again, they're not benefiting financially, and they're not going to benefit in the long term. I think Hudson-Odoi is so good that he should be playing week in, week out. I don't think he should be playing development football. You know, seeing guys like Masunda still there as well, and it is pretty painful. On top of that, I don't even know what's happening with Masunda. I really don't know. I'm gonna keep asking to find out what's happening. But I mean, it could be the kick in the teeth the club needs if Hudson-Odoi decides to leave. Okay, Nini, Icardi and Fekir. Icardi would be a good player. Fekir, yeah, a decent player too. CFC Anuj, yes, Bronini. When do you think our new stadium will be done? Not for a long time, so I'm not even thinking about that just yet. Misha, yes, Misha, how are you? Thoughts on the stadium situation? What's the ideal scenario for you? I'm just waiting for it to actually just start being developed, to be serious. I think that as long as it's financially suitable, if it's as long as it's not too expensive. I think reports saying that the price has gone down a bit, which, you know, obviously makes sense. I think we do need a new stadium because, again, our stadium capacity is 41,000. I've got more subs than Chelsea Stadium, so I think that I definitely think that this is what we need to actually grow financially, and I think in the long term it's going to be better, because you guys, let's be serious, we're still going to be Chelsea fans in 10 years and 20 years. In that way, all this stuff we're talking about now is going to be a distant memory that none of us are going to remember then. So this is why I always like when there's long-term planning with clubs. So I think that I think this stadium is definitely, it's got too many benefits around it, to be honest, and it looks like a beautiful stadium as well. I mean, the design looks incredible, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Answering some Patreon questions. Okay, what questions do I have? Mukhtar, thank you Mukhtar for joining me on Patreon. Really appreciate that. Yeah, you guys, remember, if you're on Patreon right now, send me your messages. I'll see them. And anyone that decides to obviously sign up to my Patreon as well, yeah, remember, send in your messages to the PM section and I'll find it. Okay, Dennis, yes, bro, how are you, man? What are your thoughts on Jason Cundy revealing that Jose told the Chelsea board that he couldn't change things at Chelsea after the loss to Leicester, prompting him to depart from us? Well, it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I think after that game, you know what? You know, remember when Mahrez scored the second goal when he cut inside? aim for the top left corner. Now, Mahrez kept scoring that same goal during that part of the season. And you definitely know that Mourinho would have told the entire team, watch out for Mahrez. Don't allow this guy to cut inside in those areas with his left foot. And I think, you know, I can imagine Jose just constantly stressing that point to the team, working on it throughout training so many times. For that goal to still be conceded the same way, after a while you're thinking, well, what can I really do? So I think Mourinho knew it was time up for him. And it's good that he took the responsibility to actually leave. I mean, I didn't hear about that one. It's good that he decided, well, I can't do much now. It's time to go. And I really think it puts to myth this whole thing that Chelsea now just want to keep sacking managers for no reason. It's not the case. Look at Conte. Look at Mourinho. If this was the old Chelsea, they would have been sacked a long time ago. It seemed like Mourinho took things into his hands. And, you know, I'll give him some respect for that. Yes, Abdi, do you agree when I say that we should get rid of the "We Hate Tottenham" part in the Liquidator song? Personally, in my opinion, it makes us look like a small club and we ruin a song with its history. But you're right. You are so right. Oh, you know what gets on my nerves when I go to games? All I ever hear is "Carefree" and "Stand Up If You Hate Tottenham." I don't understand. Because here's the thing. I've been a season ticket holder for like 12, 13 years. When I was a kid, like a little kid, like this high, I was never hearing these songs. There was such a variety and diversity in the songs we used to sing, and now it's just very, I mean, it's boring. It's boring. There is no atmosphere. I don't know. It's but Abdi, I agree with you, man. I'm sick and tired of hearing that stupid "Stand Up If You Hate Tottenham." It gets on my nerves. It really does. Answering some questions. Imzi, Nini, yes, I am going to the Bournemouth game. If you, yeah, of course, Imzi, man, I'm going to be where they always record afterwards. So if anyone that goes to the game wants to see me, I'll be there. Noah, hi, Nini, what's your thoughts on Mitrovic? I don't think we should, to be honest now, I don't think we should sign him. He's a target man. You know, we don't have Conte anymore, so we don't need him. Josh Banks, rest in peace. Oran, gone but never forgotten. Yes, Oran Tully, yeah, it's a shame he passed away. I know he had his illness. I mean, I never knew him personally. I think I saw him once or twice. I said hi, hello. I mean, it's a big shame. I mean, yeah, it's a shame he passed away. It's crazy, really. It's crazy. But answering some Patreon, some super chats. Habi, Zaki, Nini, my man. Love your videos, bro. Thank you. Thanks for that, man. Really appreciate it. Siobhan again, bro. You're doing the most, man. Thanks a lot, though. Thank you for supporting the content. Sorry, should focus on converting Hudson into a striker. I think that'd be really interesting. But again, the thing is, I'm always thinking about the long term. Now, I think if we think about Hudson-Odoi as a striker now, or playing on the right, it is a bit of a short-term solution. But what's going to help him turn into a world-class player? I don't know if playing on the right consistently would do that. Maybe up front, I think there's a possibility that could happen. And I think, I don't know, I like to see something where, let's say if we had a striker of those dimensions, you can see guys like Hazard's. I don't know, you know what, actually, I think if we did use him in that position, I think it could be pretty interesting tactically, because it's like, imagine how fluid that front three is. That whole front three could just interchange positions throughout. And I think that you just get maximum fluidity, and I think that'll make it even harder for opposition teams to mark a player. How are you going to mark Eden Hazard, where if he's on the left, now he's moving the middle, and then Hudson-Odoi is taking the spot on the left? I mean, that's the type of stuff I like to see. I would like to see Sarri even try to, you know, develop his system and really try to maximize it and take things to another level. I think at a club like Chelsea, where you do have a lot of better players around you, you do have the board are going to sign players for you as well. It's not like Napoli where he's got no money. I would like to see Sarri experiment in the future and really take his system to another level. And I think that could be a great way to take that system to another level. You know, having a striker that is like a winger in a sense, that can beat a man, play one-on-one, great at finishing, pace, etc., etc. I think it could really work. Other questions to look at. Okay, what other ones have I missed out on? Nutriman, I think Barkley should be our backup striker when Giroud leaves. I'm not too sure about that. Remember, you have to be clinical. Our strikers aren't touching the ball 100 times a game, so it's not as simple as that. Okay, Hassan, Ruben should start ahead of Kovacic. Oh, it's a hard one. It really is. It really is. I think that he's good enough, to be honest. But Kovacic is a fantastic player too. It's a hard one. I wouldn't be surprised if Sarri even experimented with using Ruben as a deputy to Kante as well, because again, he is being used as a box-to-box player. I think he could have his uses in that sense. I mean, like when Zielinski, for example, Zielinski used to replace Alain and he used to replace Hamsik as well. So I think Ruben could do that. Josh Banks, our Hazard John is dead. So generic. It is. It is. I was really hoping this season we were going to steal that chant from the Belgium. When obviously Belgium the World Cup. I thought that Eden Hazard song's amazing. I hope I hear that this season. Something tells me I won't, because we don't even consistently sing our best player's name. We'd rather sing about Tottenham, which really confuses me. Avon, Nini, since we have Hudson-Odoi as a backup winger, shouldn't we have sold Willian for 50 million since Pedro? Now here's the thing, we didn't get 50 million, so no. But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. I think that if we had sold him, then yeah, I think if we had sold him, the club would have increased their efforts to find a replacement. Yeah, I think it is like a once in a lifetime offer you're gonna get. But again, the January window's coming. That remember, the Chinese market's going to be open as well. They love to spend money, so I'm not going to be surprised to see 1 or 2 players move to China this January. Okay, other questions. Abdi Adan, yep. Cadardino, Moha. What about Masunda? I'm not too sure what's happening with him just yet. Hopefully I get to find out or hear some stuff, but I'm not too sure. Malcolm X, Nini, if he signed for Fekir, will he play as a false nine like Firmino of Liverpool? I think he would, or play on the right-hand side. And it actually came out from Lyon, where they said that Chelsea were talking about Nabil Fekir, but they didn't want to do anything for him. They didn't make any offer for him. So I don't really think we have too much strong interest in Fekir at this moment. Yeah, I think, yeah, Fekir as a striker, yeah, makes sense. Zaki, what's up, man? Okay, thoughts on people saying Hazard ruins the dynamic of our team as he receives the ball infield and doesn't stay wide like Willian. I don't know what they're talking about, and I think that, again, it's a Sarri system. Hazard's playing that Insigne role. He has that freedom, in a sense, playing on the left-hand side. He acts as the playmaker and the wide forward, so he's got 2 jobs. I've always said that Hazard's like a 2 or 3-on-1 type of player. He can play in so many roles, so many positions, but I don't know what people don't know what they're talking about by saying that. They 100% don't know what they're talking about. And I think anytime I hear stuff like that, it just tells me that they haven't done their due diligence. They ain't done no research into Sarri or the system. They didn't watch a single game of Napoli as well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. And the other question, man. Also, when Sarri says he wants a different profile of striker to Morata and Giroud, who do you think we should be looking at? Well, something tells me he's looking at the type of striker. It's my personal opinion. I don't know who. I don't know just yet, but something tells me he's looking at the type of striker, like for example, like a Sanchez. He was like a wide forward that moved up front. Mertens as well. I think he's looking at that caliber of striker, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was like indirectly asking for someone like Martial. But at the same time, who's available on the market right now that could fulfill that role? So it is interesting. I think with a striker like that, where he's able to play across the front 3, he becomes like a 2-on-1 type of player. And I think that only gives the manager more options. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting to really see what happens in January, because our business isn't finished. We are looking to sign at least 2 players in that window. So yeah, and remember, we're looking to sign 2 players as well, because more players will be leaving. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. Forward-thinking man like Nini, when you plan to bring call-in shows, was A1 YouTube content, big game on point. Thank you, bro. Always back in the bid. Yeah, I need to bring back the Q&A stuff. Not the Q&A, the sub calling. But the reason why I stopped was because anytime people that's obviously pay to come on or whatever, no one did in the end. So I just felt that no one really wanted to come on like that. But I'm gonna test out again next week and see if people actually want to do it. So yeah, it's an international break next week, so it would be a good time to really test that out. Other questions? Let me see what else is being asked. Mukhtar, yes, bro. Do you agree we should sign Dry next summer? I think this guy, again, when you're talking about the type of player that is a 2-on-1, You know, your guys like your Mertens, your Griezmanns, your Sanchez's, your Messi's, etc., etc. I honestly feel that Bertrand Traore could be that player as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he does for Lyon this season. I know he started the season well. He's got a few goals. The guy, I mean, there's a reason why I've always called this guy the new Griezmann. How they play stylistically, they just look so similar. You know, I've always watched a lot of La Liga. I used to see Griezmann play for Real Sociedad, especially that season when, he was playing beside Carlos Vela and Sergio CWANless was behind them as well. And that was when my guy was scoring bare goals from headers, etc., etc. And he turned into, a top-class player. I think Bertrand Traore has that in his game. I think the guy's left foot, his first touch is ridiculous. He can beat a man. He can drift. He's comfortable in the wide areas. He can run the channels. He's comfortable playing central and playing. I think this guy could be someone that could fit that profile. But do Chelsea have that type of vision? I'm not too sure. But I definitely think Bertrand Traore could be that player. And I think this is why it'll be really interesting to see what happens with him at Lyon. I think obviously they sold Mariano. He went back to Real Madrid for 40 million euros. Again, there's no buyback fees, but there's probably some gentleman's agreement in place where, okay, you can sign him back for a certain price. And yeah, I'd like to see Bertrand Traore back. I think that, again, he's really developed a lot. And I think that he could really provide something to the team. Okay, Joel McCollins, yes, bro, you good? Okay, Kevin. Will Fabregas have a role when he's fit? Yeah, I think so. I think he'll still play. I think he'll deputise Jorginho, and I think he can play across the midfield as well. Kwame, yes, Kwame. Nini, wouldn't it be disappointing that Morata doesn't score 20 league goals, considering the system he plays in? Yes, it most definitely would be, and I think it wouldn't be good enough if he doesn't get minimum 20 goals this season. Bertrand will return. I hope so. I hope so. I think his attributes are very good and would really complement Sarri. Adam, such a Chelsea thing to risk so much to bring in Traore, as he was one of the best talents out there to get rid of anyway. You're right. And obviously with Bertrand Traore's story, it's kind of interesting too, because this guy didn't really come through in the academies in that traditional sense where, he was with one club for time. I mean, a lot of his development was in Africa before he was moved around when he was a bit older as a teenage player. And then obviously he went straight, he barely played for the Chelsea youth team. And then, yeah, he literally just went into the first team under Mourinho, got his loan spells from then on. So in terms of the amount of football he's played throughout his youth career, it really hasn't been as much compared to other players in that traditional sense. And it really lets you know just how talented the guy is. I mean, we know Mourinho doesn't like youth, but the fact that Mourinho thought to bring this guy to the pre-season tour when he was like 17 after barely even playing, it really lets you know about his individual abilities. And I think Bertrand Traore, I mean, this guy was still injured. He nearly got to 20 goals for Lyon. And I'm just thinking, if you can do that at this level, if he steps up and becomes like undeniably like has an incredible season for them this year, he's going to be on a lot of clubs' radars, 100%. Tutus Pulonini, news on your couch. It's not going to be here for too long. I will be moving out of this place into a new place in January, so it is going to be a completely different setup. Boy, thanks for that, bro. Jack Holloway, hey man, should we play 4-2-3-1 with Kante and Jorginho in the two? Would that fit well? I don't think we need to, you guys, because again, when we use this 4-3-3, it is very fluid. It depends on the context of games. I keep saying it all the time. There will be times where, if we have to play off the ball a bit, Kante will just drop deeper with Jorginho. I mean, Alan used to do that with Jorginho at Napoli. It will be the same thing. So it naturally happens, you guys. When we use our 4-3-3, because it's a very fluid system, for example, when we start our press, we turn into a 4-4-2 that transitions to, a 4-3-3. Off the ball, we turn into a 4-5-1. And there's certain times when we're trying to maintain our possession, Kante will just drop a bit deeper alongside Jorginho, and we do become a 4-2-3-1. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I love the 4-3-3 formation, especially under the right manager, because it's that fluidity. You can just use so many different systems for particular moments, and during, you know, certain contexts of matches, I think it's the best formation. So yeah, I mean, we kind of do that already in a sense. Eric Dooku, hey man, Nini, we have to buy typically left winger like Leon Bailey or Fekir. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we really need to elevate our forward positions. Let me see what's happening on Patreon for a second. Any more super chats? Okay. Modas CFC, thank you, bro. William Hazard Pedro, new front three, and sorry. William Hazard. I'm confused by that, bro. No offense. Your other question, will Abramovich sell Chelsea for 2.5 billion? I'm not too sure. I mean, if you guys remember, like months ago, I think I had 100% Chelsea on. We were just talking about the stadium and, you know, developments with it. And I think I was hypothesizing about the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if one day Abramovich tried to sell some equity in the club in terms of what Arsenal do. You know, obviously they've got so many billionaire owners, but they all own a certain percentage of the club. I wouldn't be surprised if Rahman did something like that. I don't see him selling. Not when the guy's trying to get this new stadium sorted out. Not when we're close to being very profitable as well. You know, we've brought in fantastic business guys and Guy Lawrence and Chris Townsend. So, again, it's financially very lucrative. Especially when that stadium comes, when you can sell the name rights and you can just do a madness with sponsorships on top of that. I don't think Roman, it wouldn't be smart business for him to sell. But I would not be surprised if, let's say, I don't know, some investors wanted to buy a stake in the club and Abramovich sold some of his shares to those investors. I think that's the most realistic thing to come. So it was interesting to read that that could be the most realistic possibility in those reports. So, yeah, that's how I see it being. I don't think Roman needs to sell at all. Other questions? You guys remember, if you're on Patreon, don't forget, obviously I will be answering your questions. And obviously, if you do decide to become a Patreon subscriber, remember to send me your questions through the message tab. Don't use the comments tab because I never see it. Let me see on Super Chat. Okay, cool. Jordan, hey Jordan, thank you, man. Who do you think will go out on loan by Friday? I'm looking at guys like Piazon, Michael Hector, and I'm looking at Masunda. There's no way Masunda can stay till January. I heard his performances haven't been too great for the development team, and I think that's a scary thing because Masunda's always been a very hard-working player, and the fact is, if he isn't performing in development games, it could show you his mentality isn't the same. And from that human aspect, I could understand. I mean, when you feel like you're giving your all, giving your best, when you do get game time and you score a goal or you get an assist and you still don't get any opportunities or chances, especially when the club always gas these guys up, telling them to stay, why their future should be at Chelsea, it does get frustrating. And after a while, it's natural that your form is going to dip. And I think that if it's getting to that stage, Masunda desperately does need to leave. And I hope that he does get a good loan move before the window does end, because he can't afford to stay here. He can't afford to stay until January, and it's a real shame what's happening with his career. I don't know. This is why the loan system is. This is why I don't like it. I just don't like it, because there's no way in hell this guy hasn't played more games than he has. It doesn't make any sense to me. Javan, bro, thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate the support today from you, bro. Thanks a lot, man. With everything going on with the new exciting football, all the rumours, the loan army use of profit, and how Chelsea works hard to make a profit and stay in financial fair play, do you think Roman is long-term planning to sell the club for a big profit? I don't think so, man. I definitely don't think so. As I was saying before, I think that, if anything, it doesn't make financial sense right now. New stadiums coming here. Imagine all those commercial possibilities, the deals that can be done. Obviously, the sponsorships, the naming rights for the stadium. We've got, like I said, Chris Townsend and Guy Lawrence, the guys that are the heads of the, not the marketing team, but the chief director, etc., etc. They're the guys looking to bring the deals. And remember, clubs like Man United have 70 different sponsors, which is a ton of money. I mean, you've got 70 different sponsors. Imagine how much you're bringing in from that. We don't have anywhere near that same amount of sponsorship deals. So those guys are working on deals like that, and you can see the business sense already. We're targeting the Asian market. Why is that? Number one, we're targeting those mid-range companies that are happy to pay a bit more to be able to have their brand sponsored by a prestigious club. And number two, you in countries in Asia, let's say like Carabao, Carabao sponsor our training kits. That I was there. I was in Thailand this summer. That sponsorship's everywhere. It's literally everywhere, and it's like if you've got a football club behind that as well, you're only going to get more fans. And there's so many fans in Asia. They absolutely love football in Asia. In a way, it's a shame that obviously it's so hard for him to go to games to get there live. I mean, the distance and everything. But they're football mad there. I mean, I know every time I went to watch games, it was always packed in whatever bar or pub I went to. And everyone's just talking about football. So it makes so much sense to target those Asian markets. Obviously, grow your fan base and get more potential customers. And on top of that, I mean, it makes no sense for Roman to sell unless there was something happening behind the scenes with his finances or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I think if he ever sold hypothetically, it's because something's bad happening. Something bad is happening behind the scenes with him. But in terms of just how lucrative things are at Chelsea right now, and with our potential in the future, there's no way that Roman is going to sell the whole club to anyone. I mean, there's a reason why people want to buy Chelsea, because they know they can make money from them. So, as I'm saying, the only realistic thing I see happening if Roman decides he wants to earn some money from the club now is if he does sell some of their shares to some investors. Similar to how Arsenal do things with Kroenke and Usmanov and all those guys. So, that's the only way I see things happening. Other questions, let me see. You guys too, I don't want to be that guy, but obviously I've got my one football link in the description below. If you guys want to support, if you want another way to support, please download the app. Every download from everyone makes a massive difference in helping me get another sponsorship for next month. And of course, obviously, I do get paid for it. Again, it's not even crazy money. I'll be fully transparent with you guys. It is like 400s. So it's nothing crazy in that sense. But obviously everything that I do get from sponsors just adds up, and it makes my life easier to do what I do. So yeah, you guys, if you want to help support, download the app in the description below. It makes a big difference. Other questions to answer. Tom Weiser, Nini, what is your opinion regarding Alonso as a centre forward instead of a fullback? I think his skill set fits more of a striker than a fullback. It definitely doesn't. I mean, there's a difference between making runs inside the box and playing as a striker. Playing as a striker, there's a lot more to your game. You have to, obviously, the areas you run into, how you, how you combat opposition defenses, how you link up the play as well. I don't think Alonso is that guy to do that. Just because you have a nice strike of the ball, or just because you're able to get inside the box at times, it doesn't mean you're a striker because of those things. I mean, tons of players have a very nice strike of the ball. That doesn't mean they should be playing up front. So I can't even entertain the idea of Alonso playing as a striker. So I'm not, I definitely don't agree with that one, man. Edmondo, hey man, Nini, what do you do for a living? I work for my dad's company. Shine or Mike, the best Chelsea YouTuber. Appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I want to get even better too, so I can be the undisputed best Chelsea YouTuber. Sammy D, man kept it real. Yeah, I got to. I mean, I don't see why I got to keep it a secret. I'm okay with being transparent, to be honest. As I said, it's not like it's some crazy money, but it's something, Lorenzo Lopez, Nini, guess what you got the A last night? This guy, Lorenzo, real talk, man. You need to definitely check out Pornhub after this stream, man. You need to release some frustration. But your time's going to come. I guarantee before the year ends, you're going to get the A. I'm telling you, man. Your whole life's going to change. I'm telling you. Okay, Nicholas. Alonso is garbage. I don't know. Again, this whole Alonso thing, a lot of people think I just hate on players. I always do get a bit frustrated when I hear comments like that, because it's like, you're ignoring all the points I'm making, because I feel like I just give my opinion fairly. I say all the time, you guys, I'm too old to just hate on players as if I'm 5 years old. I don't really care what you do on the pitch. I don't care what you do out of the pitch or whatever. I'll just make some critiques. I think I've been fair with Alonso. I told you guys I thought he was pretty average or poor in pre-season. And I said after that Arsenal game, It was one of his best attacking performances I've ever seen from him, and he's just been growing from there. And I told you guys on the start, I'm willing to give all the players a second chance because we are using a new system, and that's exactly what I did with Marcos Alonso. And again, I haven't judged him at all. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's limitations in his game. We know he doesn't have the pace, no recovery pace as well. I've always felt his defending isn't great. He doesn't win back balls quickly enough. He's not like, again, I remember Ashley Cole. Maybe it's not fair to compare the two, but with Ashley Cole, he's one of the best one-on-one tacklers I've seen. I think he was better than Aspilicueta, for example. The guy would go in there hard and fast, and he'd win the ball cleanly and quickly, and then you start the attack from there. And I think with Alonso, for example, it takes him too long to win a tackle. How many times do you see the wing on the right-hand side, carrying the ball or playing it around him, and he still hasn't won the ball? So, but again, at the same time, he's got his qualities too. I think, seeing what he did in the past 2 games offensively, I think he's been good. So that shows me that he can provide something in the final thirds. It's interesting. It is interesting. But again, I can't really give my full conclusive judgments just yet. I need to probably wait until January, to be honest. Akash, Nini, how long before we see Sarri ball for 90 minutes? What do you mean, Sarri ball for 90 minutes? Oh, the complete thing? I don't think it'll be too long. I'm looking at maybe October, to be honest. I think October will be a good time where you can start really assessing that. I think the international break could be good too. A week off for players to rest, and obviously to work under Sarri as well. Abdi Adan, thank you, bro. No question. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Let me move back to Patreon. See if there's any more questions I've missed out on. Okay, forward thinking. You got to bring back the Theatre of Streams title, by the way. I'll think about it. I'll consider it. Forward thinking. How do you think our team should set up defensively if we have to defend for long periods? This seemed a major issue in the first half versus Arsenal, as our wingers didn't support the fullbacks in preventing crosses. You're right. And I think it came down to the confusion. I think that this is why I kept saying it was a collective effort. And this is why I didn't really have a go at Marcos Alonso, because it wasn't really his fault. I think the reason why I say that is because I'm always looking at, like when you have your back four and they keep in position, they keep in line. I'm seeing if everyone's on track and everyone's in that position. But when I see, let's say, if Aspi's here, Rudiger's there, Luiz is there, that's not any one of those players' fault. It's just a collective thing because they haven't fully understood. You look at the wingers too, Pedro and Willian were too high up the pitch. They should have been much deeper, because again, Arsenal were creating 2v1s against Aspi and Alonso, and Sarri doesn't want the team having 2v1s created against them. So that it was a collective effort. So again, I think the 4-5-1 is good because you have it allows you to win the ball back in your half to start something. Obviously, it helps cover the half spaces as well. The only thing was the wingers need to help track the runners, basically. That's it. So again, it's a patience thing. I think the 4-4-2 is fine. 4-5-1's fine off the ball in our half. Remember, 4-4-2 is only when we start pressing in the opposition half. You either see someone like Pedro move up alongside Morata, or William will move up alongside Morata, and then once they move up, it will usually be the number 8 in midfield that pushes up as well, and then that's how our high press starts. But yeah, Abdi Adan, what Chelsea sources do you think are reputable when it comes to Chelsea needs? For example, transfer youth, and has Matt Law chat shit, or is he any good? No, I can actually vouch for Matt Law. I know he definitely does. He does have sources. The only thing though is what I've been hearing though is that it looks like Matt could have potentially lost a Chelsea source or something. I think I keep hearing this. It was after one article about Marina or something that didn't go down too well with the club, and they've been kind of off with Matt Law, and this is why he hasn't been breaking as much stuff as frequently as he was beforehand. So that is definitely interesting. But I mean, he's definitely one good one. On Twitter, Joe Tweedy, of course. I mean, I'm not even gonna, again, I don't even want to bait out my guy's business like that, but all I'm saying is the guy is very well connected in the football industry. That's all I'm saying. You'd be surprised how many people he knows at Chelsea as well. That's all I'm saying too. Again, Chelsea Youth is another one. A lot of ties with the Chelsea youth players. Carefree Youth on Twitter as well. A lot of ties with the youth players as well. I'm trying to think who else has a lot of good sources when it comes to Chelsea. Other than Matt Law and those three accounts I said, I can't really think of anyone on the top of my head when it comes to Chelsea news. So, yeah, I think they're really the four main... And I think me, because obviously I'm lucky because I know those guys. So they tell me stuff. So yeah, I think that's where it comes down to for like reputable Chelsea sources. How long have I been on for actually? How long have I been on for? I've lost track. 45 minutes. Yeah, I need to leave soon, you guys. I just realized. I'm going to be leaving in the next 5 minutes. As I said, you guys, yeah, next 5 minutes I'll be leaving. So if anyone wants anything prioritized or whatever, you've got a 5-minute window. Josh Banks, Eden needs to... Yeah, Eden Hazard needs a chant. It needs to be that Belgium chant, in my opinion. It needs to be that one. Saeed Phillips, Luis is in his 30s and making the same mistake he was when he was 24. I definitely don't agree with that. I don't know why everyone's turning on Luis so quickly when it's a collective effort from the team. We haven't mastered how to defend off the ball just yet. It comes down to positionings. I keep stressing positionings all the time. Chalobah said that himself when he was on this channel for an interview, and he said it on a podcast as well. Sarri's very specific with how he likes his teams to defend off the ball. That's the main thing that's going to take the team longer to get used to. Again, for that equaliser against Newcastle, I don't know why Luis got the full blame. There was so much collective error. I keep saying Joselu was already between Luis and Rudiger. Let's say Yedlin plays a cross over Luis. Are people going to blame Rudiger for not getting tight? Because no one saw them. Are you going to blame Giroud for not playing to the whistle? Are you going to blame Alonso for not getting tighter to the marker? In a way, it's everyone's fault. But I don't see why Luis is taking the full force of that. And I think it's unfair because I think people are targeting Luis in that sense because, number one, they think that he's the reason why Christensen isn't playing. Which I don't understand because Christensen would just play on the right-hand side. So really his competition is Rudiger, in my opinion. And I think, number two, that... people are just saying a lot of unfounded things about, he can only play in a back three and not in a back two, which is just complete nonsense again. I don't know where that opinion's come from, but no one's really thinking about it. And I just think that everyone's hypercritical and hypersensitive in regards to anything David Luiz does. And I just don't agree with it. I mean, again, when I see him making a proper mistake, I'll be the first one to say, I mean, even though I like certain players, whatever, at the end of the day, they're all millionaires. And let's be serious. Let's say one day all the players left. And let's say one day, I don't know, we swapped our players with Arsenal's players. Am I gonna be an Arsenal fan? No, I'm gonna be a Chelsea fan because I support the club first. So yeah, but that's what I got to say to that. CFC Jake Marina out here destroying the club with that incompetence and stubbornness. It wasn't too bad. I mean, she wasn't too bad this summer though. Let's give her some credit. Nini, thoughts on Kepa? I think the guy looks very confident. I'm liking what I see with him, especially his distribution. I like that. Okay, Luis gets too casual sometimes and can't concentrate for full 90 minutes. I don't agree with that. I don't know what moments, other than that equaliser, and I kind of feel people really held on to that incident even more. It's because everyone's had in their head that Luis can't concentrate. He has a mistake in him. And the minute something happened where obviously, he was involved, it was like, yeah, finally, here's the opportunity to stick all of this on Luis. It's not the case at all. And, yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people don't rate Luis. Hazard sign a new contract? Don't know just yet. He's, as I said in a video not too long ago, he's not entertaining any talks when it comes to contract stuff just yet. So we just got to be patient. We really do. Abdi, yes, bro. Nini, starting out for Bournemouth and thoughts on Kepa so far. I think Kepa's good. I think very confident. I like his distribution. And for the Bournemouth, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same lineup as against Newcastle, to be honest. Humble African, Luis is the most experienced defender in Chelsea right now. Yes, we should be happy to have him at Chelsea at this moment. Yeah, I think so too. I honestly think so too. I think once people got to realise when you defend, it's not about having 4 individuals in a defence. The most important thing about defending comes down to the communication and the partnerships and the relationships. You have to understand everyone's game, And it's just taken the whole team to get used to how to defend off the ball. But I think that, let's be serious, the only reason that goal came really was, I mean, like, the major reason why we did concede that equaliser was because we stopped playing, because we thought we were going to get a foul. And because of that 1 second of complacency, that was enough time and space for Heseli to make a run in between Luiz and Rudiger, and for Yellen to put in a perfect cross with no pressure on him whatsoever. And let's say if it was completely different, I think that that doesn't become a goal scoring chance. And that's the main thing. So it's not the right context to really blame this player or that player, in my opinion. It's a collective effort. Josh Banks, Hazard, he's a winger. He's fucking class. Inside, it cuts insides and shoots, and it always goes in when he's running down the wing. Yep, 100%, man. Corey, yes, Corey. What about Hudson-Odoi? Should he be getting game time? I like to see him play. I wouldn't be surprised to see him playing during the, I keep calling it Carling Cup. I'm old school like that. I mean, what do they call the Super Cup now? The Carabao Cup. Yeah. And, yeah, I think, or the Europa League. Samuel Pinsey, hi Nini. Do you like me think that Chelsea need to finish in the top 4, win the Europa League the next season, compete? Yeah, Samuel, I 100% agree. Nini, if you said you could make me... Okay, in the next stream, I'll make you the mods. Bro, I didn't even see you. So for the next one, I will make you the mod. Deluded Blue, you guys, if you want to support a new up-and-coming Chelsea channel, make sure to go to Deluded Blue's YouTube channel to check out his videos. My guy, what you saying? Okay, you were talking to someone else. My bad. Nutriman, I don't see Danny Drinkwater fitting anywhere in the Sarri system. Well, I think I think he could play B-Tech roles in the Jorginho role or the Kante role, to be honest. Conte to Man United, Nini, thoughts? Well, I think I said in a video last year that Conte was already interested in the United job if there was ever an available position. So I don't be surprised if something happens there. Neo, Nini, do you think that David Luiz could go back into being a backup CDM? No. He doesn't. He's not going to be a backup CDM. I mean, you guys, look at how we play. I mean, David Luiz, he's an asset in my opinion. There's so much benefits to having him in a team. So, yeah, this whole he can't defend, whatever. I definitely don't. I definitely think people are looking at him with very judgmental eyes, and they're not really assessing him fairly. So, I'm definitely not accepting that. Sanish, Nini, Marshall signs a 5-year deal. What are your views about him? Again, I'm not surprised. I think I've answered this question a few times, bro. So, if you actually watched, the Q&A, basically there was a mistake with the recording today. So if you watch the first part of the Q&A, you'll hear my thoughts then. Let me see if there's any other super chats I've missed out on. I don't think I have. Okay, nothing missed out on. Nothing on Patreon's been missed out on as well, I don't think. Okay, good. You guys, I'm probably going to end things right now. But anyway, before I go, you guys, again, if you can all do me a favor, in the description below, download that OneFootball app. Even if you have it before. I mean, again, it's up to you, but it would help me out a lot. Even if you deleted the app and downloaded the app again, it would help. But as long as you have to click on that link. If you download OneFootball by yourself, it's not going to work. You have to click on the link in the description for it to count, because that's how my downloads get tracked. So yeah, you guys, hopefully you do that. Thank you to everyone that sent me super chats as well. Thank you to the Patreon subscribers for just supporting me for so long. It means a lot. And yeah, again, with Patreon, there's going to be a lot of movement happening end of the month. So I'm going to be finally releasing the WhatsApp group for Patreon. That's going to happen during international break. So you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, you guys, thank you for watching. I'm the FC. This is Blue 9 CV. In the description below, download that app. It would help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.